This meeting is now being recorded.
Good afternoon, Derby agents and friends. This is Kevin Shady calling from just a beautiful postcard picture-perfect day in Louisville, Kentucky. And if you have an opportunity to get outside after the winter that we've had here in the Midwest, and believe it or not, we had snow earlier this week, and I know the folks in Ohio even had more than we got here in Louisville, but still snow at the end of March and after the basketball tournament and into April coming up on Derby is just unheard of. So we're thankful and happy that we've got wonderful weather now back. It's, like I said, it's San Diego-type weather here in the River City with temperatures in the upper 60s, going to be 70s, and even getting into 80 come this weekend. So we're all looking forward to a great weekend. But before we get there, we've got a heck of an opportunity today. We've got John Singerman from Alliance Cost Containment and ACC and their CostCrushers.com program. And they set up this program, guys, with us, the folks here on these Derby calls, in mind. It's really to help set up, and John will tell you more about it here in the next few moments and walk you through their website and show you how easy it is. But it's set up for the smaller businesses that don't quite live up to what they need in order to be engaged as an ACC cost containment type of partner. And with that, John, I'm going to leave it over to you and take us through it.
Well, great. Thank you, Kevin, and thanks to all that have joined the call today and taken time out of your busy days. And I've got Janice Farish with me today from ACC as well, and we're going to walk you through, as Kevin described, the CostCrushers.com site. And prior to that, we've had a great relationship with Derby Agency and the team over at Derby and have had a lot of success with our ACC program. Just briefly, if you'll recall, that program is designed for clients of $25 million in revenue or $1 million in indirect spend or higher to make you eligible as a Alliance Cost Containment potential client. And we've had a lot of success with really a $2 billion company signed up. Most recently, a number of hospitals, some manufacturing groups, and those that are out selling the ACC product set are certainly reaping the benefits from that. And through that engagement, we've had conversations certainly with Mike and Sherm on a regular basis and Kevin, and we designed what we call the Cost Crushers solution, which is when you're out calling on potential clients for the ACC solution, not all clients have 25 million rev or $1 million of indirect spend. So this particular program is designed for those clients with 10 million revenue or less, where they've got maybe $20,000 of office supplies on an annual basis, or $10,000 of Jansan, or $50,000 of print. And what it is it's a group purchasing program that is a tiered model where we have agreements with the 6 vendors that we're going to walk through today, and through those agreements, we get paid commissions on the backside on an evergreen basis, which we then pass on to the Derby agents. So that's really just a high-level look at how we've come to CostCrushers.com. We've had a soft rollout as of January because this is a completely new program for ACC, completely new and fresh website that we've made improvements to over the last couple of months. And since we've started in January officially, Janice has just told me this morning we've got 58 accounts signed up, and one particular agency, I believe, has signed up 40 of those accounts because they are off and rolling and really having a lot of success with this program. So we can get into answering some questions here as we move along, but as you can see on the opening page here, these are the 6 different providers, from OfficeMax to Granger to Value Forms, which is a print company that we've done a lot of work with and had a lot of success. TDM, which is a telecom company, which may not apply to a lot of people on this phone call, and Kyocera, naturally copiers and printers, and then Ecomtech, which is a wireless provider, which may or may not apply as well. So the front page is really just a simple page that talks about the Cost Crushers program, and I'm going to go to the About Us have next. And this really talks about, let me get rid of that. This talks about, as a Cost Crushers potential client, we've got a calculator here that can calculate your savings and give the company either a lot of success for this program will be over the phone with your current client base, or on site with an iPad or a laptop, and just go into the calculator, and basically while you're sitting there with the client or while you're discussing it over the phone, or you may even have some of these details in your database, you're able to enter different numbers with different projections and actually design a program for them on site to say what the potential savings might be. So the ranges, as you can see, our typical range through our programs, be it ACC and Cost Crushers, is anywhere from 25% to 10% in savings across the different categories that we have listed here. Signing up for Cost Crushers is really simple. We've made this site very user-friendly, and I'll go into that here in a minute. The Cost Crusher story we've described here, I'm not going to read through this entire story, but those of you that have access and certainly jump onto the costcrushers.com website, you can read about the story and how we've come about this program. Enrolling is simple. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me go back to a good area to really talk about for the subject of explaining it today is some frequently asked questions that come up quite a bit. And so I'm going to roll through these questions for you here, and they're on our website as you push this out to potential clients. And as Kevin mentioned earlier, this is really designed for the Derby agents that have a Rolodex of hundreds of clients who don't particularly apply with the types of revenue and the types of indirect expense that they have to the ACC model, but they certainly apply to this model because this is open to all different size clients. So what does it cost for a company to use Cost Crushers? The answer is there's no enrollment fee right now. We are at probably some point in time down the road giving thought to maybe putting a $49.95 or a $99.95 or some type of fee onto the program, but we thought we'd roll it for the first year with no fee associated to it at all, because we are bringing a lot of value with our 6 particular vendors that are on the site. We're going to be adding more vendors to the site, and probably that's going to roll into a dozen vendors, I would think, by the end of the year, because we're getting lots of phone calls and we're setting up some internal meetings to include different types of categories. How do we sign up to take advantage? It's easy to get started. We'll simply go to the enrollment page. You fill out a form to enroll the potential client. With that form, then an email will go out to all the different vendors that are selected, and they will get in touch with that client within a 48-hour period. Pretty simple process as to how that works. How big does a company need to be? This defines what I've talked about earlier. Revenues below $10 million, annual indirect expense or G&A below $1 million. Any size company, law firms, all the different verticals are included in the Cost Crushers program. So there's not one particular vertical that works better than another. How is this program different than the ACC program? I really won't read through this, as you guys can see. You can read through it here, but the difference really is just the size. And as you get into the main difference, I would say, is with this program versus the ACC program, there's not a formalized RFP process that we provide on the ACC program. It's basically interfacing your potential client with the vendors, and then the vendors let them know what they need to run a cost analysis for them, and they'll come back with a savings projection, and from there, typically the client signs up and moves forward. There's no auditing on the backside as there is with the ACC product set. So the two major differences that really aren't addressed here are, one, no formalized RFP process, and two, no monthly auditing on a regular basis. Will there be other suppliers? Absolutely. I just addressed that. We'll probably have soon to be an AT&T, Verizon opportunity, which will lead to purchasing of devices for companies that need to purchase smartphones and iPads and air cards, etc. What if we decide to stop using the cost crusher supplier? That's really, we don't get involved with any of the contracts or the agreements between the vendors, and they have agreements with us naturally, but we don't get between those contracts with the vendor and the prospective client. Sometimes there is a 1 year, depending on the pricing, a 1 year agreement to be put in place. Most of the time it's month to month. Therefore, you can stop using the cost crushers whenever you want. There's really no agreements tied to this of any particular size of spend with any of the vendors that are currently listed. So to enroll, it's really as simple as going onto the site, getting either on site or via the phone with your relationships that you all have, checking off the suppliers that you'd like to review. Not everybody always checks them all. Usually they'll start with 3 to 4, and then entering in the name, first, last, title, company name, address, all the things that are listed here. And then the most important thing, naturally, is as you'll scroll down here, you give some insight into the size of the company and so forth, but the referral code. So everybody needs and should apply for a referral code, and then you put your referral agent number into this as well, and that's how you'll get credit and get your commissions from ACC. So I'm going to pause here and let Janice tell you how that works as far as what you need to do to everybody on this call to acquire a referral code.
Good afternoon, everyone. What you'll need to do to get a referral code, if you don't already have one, we probably have 10 or 12 agents that have requested codes, and I know that there are many more out there that need codes, and all you need to do for that is to send me an email requesting a code, and I will assign that to you and email it back to you. And then what your client needs to do when they sign up for Cost Crushers, there's a space on the page for them to put your name and the code. And it's just kind of a double check in case they forget to put one or the other. I'll still be able to identify who the account belongs to. Like I said, you can email me and my email address, and I'll have John or Kevin send this out to you as well if you don't pick it up over the phone. But it's J as in Janice Farish, and that's F as in Frank, A-R-I-S-H, @alliancecost.com. So the sooner that you can send me that request, I can get you your code, and you can start signing some folks up for Cost Crushers.
Thank you, Janice. So I know you're probably all wondering, how much money you can make at this, what's the commission structure, and it's a little bit different from ACC. Needless to say, with the ACC model, there is more money to be made because the size of the engagement is larger and the revenues are larger. But we ran some numbers on what's currently going on in one of our agents that's got, let's say, I believe they're at 40-plus accounts currently within a 45-day period. They're almost doing an account a day. They're probably going to average, and we haven't gotten, the usage will then kick in once they sign within that category and sign that prospective client up. Then the usage will kick in. Once the usage kicks in, then Janice gets a report from the vendors, and from that we see what the total spend is and naturally put in the sales development fees that we get paid on that then we go ahead and share with the Derby agents. And our guesstimate is probably an average, just a ballpark average. Accounts could range anywhere from, quite frankly, as low as $500 annually to as high as $5,000 to $10,000 annually. We don't really have enough data to be able to really drill down and say what that is, but on a conservative nature, I would say that the minimum is going to be $1,000 commission per account for every Derby agent that signs on, a prospective client. And therefore, this agent that's out there banging on doors and using his Rolodex and really working the cost crushers very well is probably going to be in the range of $40,000 in year one easily in terms of revenue, based on the fact that he already has 40 clients signed up and we're only in April. And so that's an evergreen commission program, so that 40 would roll in year one, then it would roll over to year 2 and 3, as long as the client keeps ordering from the 6 specific categories or however many they decided to sign up for. So it's a program that can really add some immediate revenue. It can add some substantial revenue based on volume and based on going out and using your Rolodexes to your advantage. If that client is an ACC prospective client, great. But if you know they're not ACC prospective clients, we're happy to work with you as well and get you involved in this Cost Crushers program. And there's certainly some good money to be made, particularly over a period of time. The thing I like about it is, and really it was probably Sherm and Mike's idea originally, going back 4 or 5 months ago, to develop this type of program, because it puts money in your pocket right away. It gets you some wins across all your Rolodexes, different variety of size clients. And then with this program, you will be able to introduce the ACC program to those larger opportunities that you come across or that are currently in your Rolodexes. And then you're really going to have the best of both worlds. You're going to have a nice evergreen supply of commissions on a regular basis, and you're going to have some higher revenue dollars from the ACC model as well. So I'm going to pause here, Kevin, and see if there's any questions that Janice and I can answer.
Perfect, John and Janice, thanks. I've got one right off the bat. So if you're an agent out there, John or Janice, either one, and you think you have some opportunities and some clients that can take advantage of this, how do you broach the topic with them? I mean, what's the hook?
Well, I think the hook really is everybody wants to reduce their costs, their current costs. We're bringing them a program which is very similar to GPOs that are brought to hospitals or to the healthcare verticals that can offer them, based on volume purchasing, reduced pricing. And it's very similar to the telecom hook. So why do you want to do business with me in my group at AT&T? Well, because I buy more AT&T services than just about anybody else that you can buy it from, or buying it direct from AT&T. So jump onto our contract, get the preferred pricing, and take advantage of that without anything having to change typically. Now, if you're already an OfficeMax client, you're going to get better pricing through the ACC contract. If you're already a Grainger client, you're going to get better pricing through the ACC contract. Printing, that's a little bit different. Telecom, those programs, for those of you that want to get in touch with us that don't have anything currently within that sector, I know 95% of you do. If you don't have a wireless solution, this is one where basically they only work within the incumbent carriers. They very rarely switch from one contract to the other. But 90% of the time, with these new data plans and these new pool plans that are out there, and some of their grandfathered plans, they're saving money 90% of the time. So that's really the hook, is just reducing your costs based on tiered pricing and a GPO approach.
So it's really similar to the ACC, the larger enterprise type of programming, conceptually anyway. And by that I mean it's not that the clients are doing a bad job of managing their expenses, but they just don't have access to the buying power and the large contracts that you've got available, right?
Well said, Kevin. Yep.
Any other questions out there?
This is Mary. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
6 vendors that are currently, that we can sell. What are the most, popular? What are the most successful vendors? Especially with the group that has sold, 40, signed up 40 customers or clients, what do they sign up for specifically? Office supplies, Granger, Ecom Tech, which ones are leading?
Well, we should have had some kind of I guess prize for that, Mary, because Janice and I were just talking about that, and you hit the first two. Office Max and Granger are the top providers right now as vendors, and then probably next is Wireless, Ecomtech, and then once you gain their trust and they see the savings on a regular basis and get into the program, then Voluforms and TDM or Kyocera will kick in. Kyocera is one that's a little more challenging. They've got unbelievable pricing and tremendous savings opportunities, but you get into a little bit of the leases and the contracts with the Kyocera program. So if they're coming off an agreement or coming off a lease in 3 months, then they'll jump right in there, and sometimes they'll buy out the current leases and get really creative as to how to use their services. Voluforms can always save money, and they are a quality printer that is really very customer friendly. And there's always money to be saved in the office supply area, as you know, Mary, because it's just a very competitive market. And we're pushing $30 million approximately through our office contracts, and as a result of that, we're buying that at a really attractive price. And that's really what's happening here is we're pushing a lot of volume through the ACC model and through all our different distribution sources and our client base through these contracts, and we're just buying it in a better tier. So Kevin's absolutely right. If you get pushed to the purchasing manager or your relationship isn't that strong with the president or the VP of finance or whomever you have your relationship with at that company, or if it's just a cold call, hey, let them know they're probably doing as good a job. They've sharpened their pencil as best they can to this point, but we're bringing volume discounts into the program based on all the numbers we're pushing through our agreements.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Anybody else out there? I was going to get the agent that had such a great has had such great success with this. He's an ACC agent that has also sells the ACC model, and he decided to roll out this cost crushers as of about 75 days ago, and he's now up to over 40 accounts. And next time we do this, I'll get him on the phone, and he can tell you all the success he's having and what works and what doesn't work. But, I mean, I don't think it's rocket science. I think it's just trial and error. But those of you that have the deep Rolodexes, which a lot of you do, or relationships, go after it, because this is just another retention tool for having them pick up the phone and you be the first call when it comes to your telecom services or other service offerings that you've got in your bag of tricks, and you're just adding in these 6 other categories to retain that client and also to create more revenue for yourselves. So it's a really neat program. We've had a very soft rollout with it. We haven't really hyped it too much because we wanted to get all the kinks out, and we feel we're really at a place now where certainly the vendors are ready for it. We've got that all in place. And we're all ready for it, but we've tweaked this website to make it as user-friendly as possible and as easy to get clients enrolled as can be. So,
hey, John, I know you said that each agent needs to have their own referral code, and to give that code to the client and have them go to the costcrushers.com site and to ensure that they put your name and that number in. Would you recommend them taking that approach or just putting the information in for their client? Can they do that?
Either or. So whatever makes good sense and whatever that agent would like to do, or whatever's most convenient for the client.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would do that approach, because that way you don't have to. You're not asking the customer to do anything, and just as importantly, not have to remember a 4-digit code or however long the code is, because that's not really at the top of their minds. we need to make sure that everybody gets credit for the clients that do reach out to cost crushers, and it seems like it'd be easier and simpler on everybody if the agents did that. That's just my point of view.
Right. Yep, I agree with you. So whatever works best there.
Anybody else have any thoughts or questions out there?
Yeah, this is Dave Lanowski. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Hey, can I get the email address again to that lady so I can request a client code?
Absolutely. J. Farish, F-A-R-I-S-H, at alliancecost.com. And I'll be sending out a replay of this presentation and web call tomorrow. And when I do that and send it out to everybody, I'll also include Janice's name and contact information again, too.
Thank you.
And then I just encourage everybody to jump on the website, take 5-10 minutes, roll through it, go into, like I pulled up Granger here, go into Granger Office Max, go into the various vendors, take a look at their page, and it's simple to enroll, and it's really it's very simple to get clients signed up for it and get them moving forward. And then it really is a volume game, everybody. We all know that. The nice piece is that it's as long as they keep buying from that same vendor, everybody keeps making that commission, and this can build into a nice revenue source for all the agencies at Derby. So we thank you very much for your time today. And Kevin, anything else?
Yeah, before we wrap up, first off, John and Janice, thanks a lot for taking the time to walk everybody through the costcrushers.com site. I think we got a better understanding of the opportunity here as well. A couple of housekeeping things I want to make sure everybody's aware of. One, we have launched the Derby Agency channel on YouTube. So, not only will I be sending you out a link to this call, but you'll also see each of these web conferences, video conferences, will be available to you on our YouTube, the Derby Agency channel. So you'll be able to pull up these conference calls whenever you want at your convenience and get a refresher as well. And in addition, I've linked all of the solutions partners that have YouTube channels. I've linked them to our Derby Agency channel as well. So if you want to drill down more on something about ACC or eSuite Media or Star to Star or Comcore or any of the other folks that are out there, PGI in particular has a lot of video clips that you can share with clients and send to them as well. I would encourage you to do so. And then just to kind of go through a few of the promotions that we've got on play through the end of this quarter, which is the end of June, June 30th. We've got PGI, and they've got a tremendous trip out there for the grand prize winner is a trip of a lifetime, up to $25,000 for you and your family to go wherever you want, whenever you want. The key is you have to be the leading sales agent for that quarter, and you have to bring in at least $250,000 in total contract volume. So let me break that down for you. If the normal license for a global meet is $39.99, that means just to qualify, you only need to bring in and sell 175 licenses. That's not a lot, folks. I mean, you get a couple of large companies, and they can put on 200 or 300 of these licenses themselves. So just know that that's a heck of a trip that they've got from PGI on the table, as well as several other promotions that they have going on throughout the quarter. And you can see all of those promotions on your Derby Agency mobile app. If you haven't downloaded that app, you should, because it tells you all the contact information for all of the solutions partners within Derby, as well as all of the promotions that are currently going on among those Derby solutions partners. Also, Comcore has a dual promotion out there right now. It's a $100 upfront bounty if you sell one of their ring box per ring box, which is the 4-phone, 4 lines router, a high-grade router, wireless router, and everything that they need, and the fixes set up, plug and play, and get your hosted IP phone system in place and reduce your phone costs. Plus, Comcore has, you bring on $8,000 in new monthly revenue, and you'll get an ELIO. That's E-L-I-O. And if you haven't seen it, it's a cool-looking three-seater that some folks in Atlanta are getting ready to manufacture and market in a broad-scale way, and you could be one of the first ones to have those in your driveway. Again, just $8,000 in monthly revenue by the end of next February. So you've got plenty of time to get on board with that promotion from Comcore. Rapid Scale also has a $100 program out there. Send them a lead. So if you want to bring some leads to Rapid Scale for some cloud computing or any of the other cloud-based products that they have available. And finally, eSuite is the last one I'll mention today. eSuite Media, $1,000 for every mobile app. $1,000, guys, for every mobile app. And if you haven't heard more about that, please give me a call. We're having tremendous traction with restaurants and casual dining. Later today, earlier this afternoon, and went on a visit with a local restaurant here. We've got one downtown that's already signed up as well. We're integrating with the point-of-sale system so that you can pay with your mobile phone from the app. And just to give you an idea, when I went to this restaurant today, it took me 44 minutes to have lunch, and 14 minutes of that was waiting to pay for my bill. I could have knocked off that 14 minutes in about 30 seconds by paying the bill on my app. So that's getting a lot of attention. Not only that, you get push messaging where you can geo-target and geo-fence and all that kind of good stuff. We're having tremendous traction with churches and church associations, as well as with schools. Trinity High School here in Louisville is getting their app developed and is almost ready to go live. And we're making some significant progress with them, as well as with realtors. And we've got a large realtor association that has already started marketing and moving towards developing their mobile app, including live video, motion videos to market their listings and separate themselves from the clients and other competitors that are out there. So we got some tremendous opportunities. I hope you'll take advantage of them. If you have any questions or anything at all, give me a shout, Kevin Shady. You know my number, 502-386-1128. And then finally, guys, we're ready to hit the road. You know, the snow's gone. There's nothing stopping us from getting on the road. If you would like to see myself or Mike or Sherm come out and visit your market, just give me a shout, and or any one of the three of us, and we'll set it up and get out there. And Sherm, I'm going to hand that off to you to kind of wrap us up, because I know you've been on the road in Ohio this week.
I have. And again, John, Janice, and the entire ACC team, I'd like to thank you for the great presentation. I'd like to thank you for putting something together that is really, really easy to present to anybody. And I would love to see that little model of the folks that have already got about 40 accounts signed up to it. I really want to encourage everybody to look at this. Every place I've been traveling in the first quarter of this year, everybody is interested in saving money, cutting costs, and increasing sales. And a lot of this does this in that package. And it gives you an opportunity to sell something. It gives you an opportunity to help a business reduce the cost, and at the same time teach them things that most of these people don't have time to really look at because they're trying to run their business. So again, John, Janice, thank you, and also thank you this morning for the little children's breakfast downtown. That was awesome to see something that is that neat and sponsored by you guys, John Hamilton. I appreciate that. It seems like the more you get on the road, the more you get out, the more you see new clients, old clients. It's that old slogan of 80% of life showing up. It's amazing how people are glad to see you. I don't know whether it's because of the bad weather. I was in Cleveland Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. In Akron, had snow there Tuesday and Wednesday. Glad I'm not up in Michigan or Minnesota where they got 15 inches of snow yesterday. It just continues on. The sun is shining bright all over the United States of America. I think it's a great time to get out. I noticed we've got about 10 of our newest agents on here today, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all questions, and we are here to travel. We are here to help you sell. We are here to coach, teach, educate, and the things that are needed to move through that. Please feel free to call Mike, myself, or Kevin. That's why we're here, is to help you. There are a lot of big deals starting to come in the door, and it's simply by asking people. I had the opportunity to be at Cleveland Clinic this week, and there's 4 different things that can be presented there, and I was there to sell them something, not to be there on a health reason of my own. So just to make sure, because somehow when I walked in that hospital, they take a picture and it goes out on Facebook. So I was not up there to be treated, up there to sell something. So just want to pass that on. Hope you'll communicate to us. We got some awesome promotions and products coming out, and I look forward to seeing everybody. Love to go to these marketplaces. I've been to Southern California, I've been to Texas, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Florida, I've been to Atlanta, Cleveland, and I know Kevin's anxious to get out, as is Mike. So give us a buzz, and everybody have a great week. And remember, the Kentucky Derby is going to be run this year on May 1st. It's right around the corner, and I will be putting out my picks. So get your local bookmakers lined up, make a little bit of money with me. So happy sailing, and thanks.
All right, thanks a lot, Sherm, and thanks a lot, everyone, for taking time out of your selling day to learn more about Derby and the partners that we have. John and Janice, thanks again. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
He does a good job.